You ever feel like you're stuck in a waiting room, but there's no clock on the wall, no idea how long you'll be sitting there, or if you'll ever be called in? Yeah, that's what it feels like when you're quietly waiting for her to choose you. You don't say it out loud, of course, but inside, it's loud. Maybe she'll notice I'm different. Maybe if I stay loyal and don't talk to other girls, maybe she'll come around. I just need to wait a little longer, right? Wrong. Let me hit you with the hard truth, because no one tells you this. She can feel it. She can feel when you're sitting there hoping for her, when you're holding back from life for her, when you're measuring your every move to not push her away. And it doesn't feel like love. It doesn't feel strong. It feels heavy, sticky, weak, because energy doesn't lie. No matter how smooth you talk, no matter how calm you pretend to be, if deep down you're operating from fear, she'll sense it, not through magic, but through instinct. She'll feel the quiet pressure. And do you know what pressure does? It pushes people away. See, you've been told your whole life that being the nice guy will work, that loyalty, effort, sacrifice, all of it will eventually be rewarded. But let me ask you, have you been rewarded? Or have you just been used, then ignored, loved a little, but never chosen? Listen carefully. Women don't fall for the guy who waits. They fall for the man who walks, who's building his own story, with or without her, who isn't afraid of losing her because he knows he'll never lose himself. That kind of energy is rare, and rare always feels valuable. Now don't twist my words. This isn't about playing games. This isn't about disappearing to get attention. This is about detachment. It's not cold. It's not cruel. It's clear. When a man is truly detached, he's not angry. He's not bitter. He's not trying to make anyone chase him. He's just living, fully, boldly, quietly powerful. And when a man lives like that, the world shifts. You stop needing her. You stop chasing love like it's air. Instead, you become the air. You become something people notice when it's missing. That's what absence does. See, you don't even have to cut her off. You don't have to block or delete or make a scene. You just stop orbiting. You stop texting first every day. You stop waiting on her replies. You stop checking if she saw your story. And that space, that quiet, it does something powerful. Because when a man pulls all his energy back to himself, he becomes magnetic. Women notice that. They don't miss the guy who begged. They miss the one who left without making noise. Because silence hits different when it comes from a place of strength. So I want you to ask yourself something real. When did you start living for her attention instead of your own mission? And deeper than that, what if your absence said more than your presence ever did? Let's find out. Your life is the gravity, not your feelings. You ever wonder why planets spin around the sun and not the other way around? It's simple. Gravity. The sun's not chasing. The sun's not texting, calling, hoping, begging, proving. It just burns, it shines, and everything else orbits it. Now let's flip that, because right now you're the planet, spinning around her, trying to adjust your speed, your mood, your moves, just to stay in her view. You think if you keep showing up, keep giving, keep pouring, maybe she'll finally see you. But let me ask you, what are you offering her to orbit? Is it your glow, your ambition, your focus, your mission, or just your feelings? Because feelings without structure are like clouds. They float, they drift, they disappear, and women can feel that too. They can tell when a man doesn't have anything holding him down, when he's emotional but directionless, when he's loving but lost. It doesn't feel safe. It doesn't feel attractive. It feels like drowning in someone else's waves. Listen, love isn't supposed to be heavy, and you are not supposed to be spinning. You're supposed to be the anchor, the sun, the center of your life, and when you start acting like that, everything shifts. But here's the trap most men fall into. They think being emotional means being deep, so they overshare. They confess too early. They give away all their warmth before she's even shown she's earned it. Let me tell you, your emotions aren't gifts, they're currency, And you don't give away your wealth to just anyone who smiles at you. A man with stoic power, he doesn't hide how he feels, but he doesn't hand it over like candy either. He checks, does this woman align with my life, my peace, my future? If not, he doesn't beg her to stay. He lets her go, because his value isn't in how much he feels, it's in how much he can hold. Hold pressure, hold pain, hold purpose. Women respect that. People respect that. And when you start carrying yourself like your life has gravity, real gravity, they'll start adjusting their spin to match yours. It's not about being cold, it's about being centered. So I'll leave you with this. If she left right now, would your life collapse or continue? Because if the answer isn't continue and grow bigger, then it's time to build your gravity back. You were never meant to chase, you were meant to build. Let me say this plain. You were never made to chase a woman. You were made to build a world so valuable she wants to be part of it. But somewhere down the line you forgot. Maybe they told you that if you don't chase her, she'll forget you. Or maybe you saw it in movies where the guy runs through the rain, begs for a second chance, and magically she turns around. Yeah, real life doesn't work like that. In real life, she doesn't turn around. She watches, she observes, she waits to see if you even have something beyond her, and if all you've got is her, then she's already lost interest. You keep checking your phone, wondering why she hasn't replied. You feel anxious, even sick sometimes, because you gave her all your attention, but you forgot to give that attention to your life. Here's the thing. A man who's busy building doesn't have time to beg. He's working on his vision, his health, his money, his peace. He's not worried if she's watching, because he's too locked in on what matters. And here's the truth most men avoid. She doesn't want to be your everything. She wants to be part of something bigger, something you've already started. So if your whole plan is, once I get her, then I'll start focusing, you've already lost. She'll sense that. She'll feel the pressure. She'll feel like your happiness is in her hands, and that's not attractive, that's exhausting. Now flip the script. You're so focused, so lit up from the inside, so passionate about what you're creating, that even if she walks away, you don't stop. That's the man she regrets losing. Not the guy who folded. Not the one who froze up when she pulled away. Not the one who placed all his light in her hands, but the one who kept moving. That's the man who burns brighter with time. The man she checks on 2 years later and wonders, how did I miss that? So if you've been sitting in silence waiting on her to notice you, this is your sign to get up. Stop trying to prove. Stop trying to win her attention. Earn your own. Let's be honest, you're always there. Every time she looks over her shoulder, boom, there you are, texting back fast, checking in, waiting, available, always available. You think that's love. You think that's loyalty. But in her eyes, it's too much, too soon, too easy, too expected. Want to know something raw? Anything that's always available stops feeling special. Think about it. The air we breathe is vital, but we take it for granted. Why? Because it's always there. Now imagine gold. It's rare, hard to get. Not everyone has it, and the few who do protect it. That's what makes gold valuable. Now ask yourself this. Are you the air or the gold? When a man makes himself constantly present, two things happen. 1, he removes all mystery. 2, he gives her nothing to chase. Desire needs space. It needs time to grow. It needs silence, and silence isn't weakness, it's power. Because it shows you're not desperate to fill every quiet moment. You're okay just being. You're not anxiously texting just to feel close. You're not checking if she's seen your story. You're not showing up every second hoping she chooses you. You've already chosen yourself, and that changes everything. You want to know when she starts to think about you? Not when you're blowing up her phone, not when you're sitting by it waiting, but when you vanish for a bit. Not with anger, not with games, just because you're living, you're busy, you're becoming, you're breathing without needing her air. She'll feel that. she'll feel your absence, and that absence, that's where her attraction grows, because you're not chasing, you're flowing, you're not proving, you're moving. So stop showing up every second just to prove your worth. Let your absence speak. Let your energy breathe. Be the gold. She won't say it out loud, but the moment you stop showing up so much, that's when she starts to wonder, did I lose something rare? Have you ever watched a storm hit a lake? The trees are shaking, the wind is howling, but that deep water, way down below, it stays still, it stays calm, it doesn't fight the wind, it just is. That's the man you must become, not the surface that gets tossed around by every wave, but the depth that holds steady no matter what. Most men don't get this. They think love means reacting to everything. They think expressing every emotion will make her feel closer. They think exploding with passion will make her stay. But listen, emotion without control isn't power, it's chaos. It doesn't pull her in, it pushes her away. When you lose your temper, she flinches. When you cry for her to stay, she pulls back. When you panic because she's cold, you just became smaller in her eyes. You're showing her you can't carry your own weight. And if you can't carry yours, how will she ever trust you to carry hers? Women don't chase chaos, they chase calm. They crave a man who can feel emotion but not be ruled by it. A man who can be honest but still composed. A man who can say what hurts him but say it with peace, not panic. That kind of man. Rare, grounded, dangerous in the best way. Because emotional control isn't the same as emotional suppression. It's not pretending, it's not becoming a robot, it's not coldness. It's mastery. It's choosing when to speak and when to hold. It's the ability to stay centered while everything else spins. It's knowing, I feel this, but I won't be destroyed by it. You want to make her remember you. Don't blow up when she pulls away. Don't chase her down when she's distant. Don't break when things get heavy. Hold, steady, ground. Because in a world full of men who lose themselves in feelings, the man who controls his emotions owns the room. And she'll feel it, she'll respect it, she'll miss it when it's gone. So stop proving yourself with loud emotion. Start showing her strength through stillness. You're not here to be a boy in love, you're here to be a man she regrets losing. Let me ask you something. If she knew you'd always be there, no matter what she says, no matter how she treats you, no matter how long she disappears, what reason would she have to value you? None, because the truth is hard, brother, but it's real. We don't value what's always there. We value what we feel we could lose. Think about gold, think about diamonds, think about time. They're not special because they're flashy. They're special because they're rare. You want to be the man she thinks about at night, the one that haunts her in silence, the one she remembers when she's lying next to someone else. Then stop being so easy to reach. Stop texting her good morning like it's a job. Stop clearing your schedule just because she blinked at you. Stop acting like she's oxygen and you're suffocating without her. That's not love, that's desperation. And she can smell it. She might not say it out loud, but deep down she's asking, why is this man's time so cheap? Why does he always answer right away? Doesn't he have something better to do than wait for me? Here's the shift. Your absence must have value, your presence must be earned. That doesn't mean play games. That doesn't mean ignore her on purpose. That doesn't mean act cold. It means you have a life, a real one. Full of purpose, full of grind, full of mission. And sometimes that means you're just not there. You're unavailable because you're building. You're silent because you're focused. You're absent not because of ego, but because of vision. And that creates mystery. That makes her think, what's he doing? Who's he with? Why am I not the center of his world? And that curiosity, that's the seed of attraction. Scarcity isn't about withholding yourself to punish. It's about becoming so locked into your own life that she feels lucky just to get a piece of you. You're not a vending machine, you're not her pet, you're not a button she can press whenever she's bored. You're a man, and your time, your energy, your presence, it's sacred, so if she doesn't value it yet, don't throw more of it at her hoping she will. Disappear into your purpose. She'll feel the gap, she'll feel the weight, and if she's meant to, she'll come running toward the man she thought would always be there, but suddenly wasn't. Control the frame. Why your reality must be stronger than hers. Pause for a second. Have you ever felt like you're just reacting? Like you're walking on eggshells around her, waiting to see what she thinks before you know what to feel? If so, you've already lost the frame. In every interaction, someone controls the frame, and whoever controls the frame controls the direction. Let me explain. The frame is the lens through which your reality operates. It's the emotional tone, it's the expectation, it's the unspoken energy. And here's the truth most men never hear. If you don't lead with your frame, you will be pulled into hers. Now, what does this look like in real life? Let's say she's moody, cold, passive-aggressive. You feel the shift, right? She doesn't have to say a word, but suddenly you start shrinking. You ask if she's okay. You tiptoe. You apologize for things you didn't do. Congratulations, you just stepped into her emotional frame and you taught her something dangerous. Her emotions now control your behavior. But what if, instead of reacting to her world, you were grounded in yours? What if your reality was so solid, so peaceful, so masculine, that she couldn't help but calibrate to you? Let's flip the script. She's moody. You stay calm, not distant, not dismissive, just stable. She's testing you. You smile. You don't flinch. You don't beg. You stay rooted. She pulls back. You don't chase. You observe. You adjust. And if needed, you walk. You are no longer inside her frame. You are building your own. That's power. Not control over her, but control over yourself. You are the ocean, deep, unmoved, unshaken by the weather above. Why is this important? Because women are attracted to masculine emotional stability. They test to find it. They crave a man who doesn't get thrown around by every wind. When she feels your grounded presence, when she sees you lead the emotional tone of the relationship, when she experiences your world as calm, clear, focused, she can finally relax into her feminine. She feels safe. She stops leading, because now she trusts your frame to guide her. This doesn't mean being stoic like a rock. It means owning your reality like a king. You decide what energy you bring. You decide what behavior you tolerate. You decide the rhythm of your life. And if she wants to join, she's welcome. But if she wants to lead you into chaos, drama, and emotional instability, you're not signing up for that story. Not anymore. So ask yourself, is your frame strong enough to shape the relationship? Mystery triggers desire. Why less access creates more obsession? Let me ask you something powerful. When was the last time you didn't reply instantly? When was the last time she had to wonder what you were doing, instead of you constantly wondering what she's doing? You see, most men make the fatal mistake of being too available, too predictable, too easy to access, too there. They think being constant shows commitment, but in her mind, it triggers complacency. Let me explain. Desire is born from uncertainty. Obsession grows from space. A woman becomes emotionally invested when she starts wondering, where is he? What's on his mind? Is he thinking about me? But here's the trap. If she knows exactly where you are, what you're doing, and how much you want her at all times, she doesn't have to think about you. You've become a routine, not a reward. And women don't crave routines. They crave mystery. Not the fake kind, not playing games, but the kind that comes from a man who's genuinely engaged in his life. so much so that his attention feels earned. Let's go deeper. If you're texting her 24/7, if you're always checking in, if she never has to miss you, then she never gets the chance to feel your absence, and absence is where longing is born. But when you're focused on your grind, when you're building something bigger than her, when your time is valuable and you treat it that way, suddenly your presence is not a given, it's a gift. That's the shift. She stops taking you for granted. She starts chasing your time. She starts wondering what's so powerful in your world that it pulls you away from hers. And that's where the magic begins. You become a man she has to earn, not a man she can just keep on the shelf. Now, let's be clear. This isn't about playing cold. It's not about ignoring her or acting distant just to manipulate. No, it's about having a life that's so meaningful, so magnetic, so full that she feels lucky just to be a part of it. You're not too busy for her, you're committed to your path, and that mystery, that hint of what she doesn't fully own, that's what creates the pull. That's what makes her heart race when your name pops up. That's what makes her smile just thinking about you. That's what makes her miss you before you even leave, because now you're not just a man she texts, you're a man she craves. Rejection is a redirection. Here's how the Stoic man turns pain into power. Let's face it, rejection hurts. It stings deep, doesn't it? That sudden silence, that cold reply, that gut-wrenching moment when she pulls away and you feel like you weren't enough. It's a punch to the ego, a blow to your self-worth. And for most men, that's where the story ends. They shrink, they spiral, they chase even harder, trying to prove their value to someone who's already walking away. But you're not most men anymore, because here's the truth that no one talks about. Rejection isn't the end, it's an invitation to rise, to reflect, to reforge yourself into the man you were meant to be. Let me explain. A Stoic man doesn't cry over closed doors, he studies them. He asks, what was this moment trying to teach me? Was I chasing validation instead of standing in my worth? Was I too available, too eager, too uncertain of myself? Good. Now you know, because rejection is a mirror. It reflects your blind spots, your emotional dependencies, your lack of clarity on who you are. And once you see that, really see it, you've just unlocked something 99% of men never do. The power to transform. Now you rebuild, not to win her back, but to become the kind of man who no longer needs her validation. You build your body, you sharpen your purpose, you find a mission that sets your soul on fire so bright that no rejection can dim it. You take that pain and you convert it into progress, not by hiding, not by begging, but by choosing this moment to level up. Because guess what? The man who uses rejection as fuel becomes dangerous. Not in a toxic way, but in a disciplined, focused, unstoppable way. He's not bitter, he's better. And that woman who once walked away, she won't recognize you in 6 months. She'll scroll past your photo and feel a tightness in her chest, wondering why she ever let you go. But by then, you won't be waiting, you'll be thriving, because your value was never hers to decide. The Unshakable Standard. Why a man who walks away wins everything. Here's the ultimate secret no one's teaching men. It's not the man who waits for a woman to choose him who wins. It's the man who creates such high standards that he's willing to walk away from anything and anyone that doesn't align with his vision. That includes her. Yeah, even her. You see, most guys don't lose because they're unattractive. They lose because they settle. They accept half-love, they tolerate inconsistency, they let her lead the dance while they just try not to step on her toes. But here's the cold truth, if she doesn't feel like she could lose you, she will never value you. Read that again, because the man who holds the power is the one who holds the line. He doesn't chase, he doesn't prove, he doesn't beg to be chosen. He is the chooser, not out of arrogance but out of deep self-respect. He knows what kind of energy he allows. He knows what kind of woman fits into his purpose-driven life. And if someone starts pulling away, he doesn't panic. He lets her go. With peace. Why? Because a real man doesn't fear losing people who don't value him. He fears losing himself in the process of trying to keep them. That's the shift. That's what makes her regret losing you. It's not the silent treatment. It's not games or manipulation. It's when you become the man who doesn't compromise his worth for connection. A man who would rather be alone with dignity than attached without it. That energy. It's rare. It's magnetic. And once she feels it, she never forgets it. Even if she leaves, she remembers. Because deep down, every woman knows when she let go of a man who wouldn't let go of himself. So ask yourself this final question. Are you the man who waits to be chosen, or the one who becomes unforgettable by walking in his power? The choice isn't hers. It never was. It's always been yours.